The year 2024 marked a significant turning point for Jammu and Kashmir. After years of direct central rule, the region witnessed the return of Omar Abdullah to the helm of its governance. His victory, amidst the backdrop of the abrogation of Article 370 and the state's transition to a union territory, was seen by many as a beacon of hope. The first 100 days of his administration were keenly observed, carrying the weight of immense expectations. The people sought solace in his leadership, hoping for a return to normalcy and stability. The initial days were crucial for Abdullah to establish his government's agenda and priorities. He faced the daunting task of rebuilding trust between the government and the people, a relationship strained by years of political turmoil. The eyes of the nation were on Jammu and Kashmir, eager to witness how Abdullah would navigate the complexities of governing a region grappling with a transformed constitutional reality. The world, too, watched with bated breath, hoping for peace and progress in this volatile region. The challenges before Abdullah were manifold. The Union Territory status came with its own set of limitations, restricting the government's autonomy in decision-making. The shadow of the erstwhile state's special status loomed large, with many demanding its restoration. Abdullah had to strike a delicate balance between addressing these aspirations and working within the framework of the new reality. His every move was scrutinized, his words dissected for their implications on the ground and in the corridors of power. Amidst these challenges, Abdullah embarked on his mission with a focus on resolving public issues and bridging the gap between the government and the people. His initial actions were aimed at restoring a sense of normalcy and addressing immediate concerns. The stage was set for a new chapter in the history of Jammu and Kashmir, one where the promise of change battled against the weight of history. The following months would prove crucial in shaping the trajectory of the region and determining the legacy of Omar Abdullah's return to power. The transition from a state to a union territory brought about a seismic shift in the political landscape of Jammu and Kashmir. The most significant change was the curtailment of the region's autonomy. Decisions that were once the prerogative of the state government now required the approval of the central government, represented by the lieutenant governor. This shift in power dynamics presented a unique challenge for Abdullah's administration. The Union Territory status also brought with it a new set of laws and administrative procedures. The bureaucracy, accustomed to functioning under the state's framework, had to adapt to the central government's systems and regulations. This transition was not without its hiccups, leading to delays and confusion in the initial days. The change also impacted the financial autonomy of the region, with the central government now having greater control over the allocation of funds. Navigating this complex web of new regulations and power structures required deft political maneuvering. Abdullah had to balance the aspirations of his people with the limitations imposed by the Union Territory status. He had to engage with the central government not as an equal stakeholder but as a representative of a region under its direct control. This delicate balancing act defined the early days of his administration. The challenges posed by the Union Territory status were not merely administrative, they were deeply intertwined with the political and emotional fabric of the region. The people of Jammu and Kashmir, accustomed to a degree of self-governance, now found themselves under the direct rule of the central government. This shift fueled a sense of disempowerment and alienation among some sections of society, posing a significant challenge to Abdullah's efforts to rebuild trust and normalcy. It was within this complex and sensitive environment that Abdullah's government had to operate, seeking to deliver on its promises while navigating the uncharted waters of the Union Territory status. At the heart of Omar Abdullah's electoral campaign was the promise of restoring Jammu and Kashmir's statehood and its special status. These issues resonated deeply with the populace, who saw their abrogation as an assault on their identity and autonomy. Upon assuming office, Abdullah wasted no time in addressing these core concerns, demonstrating his commitment to fulfilling his electoral pledges. One of the first actions taken by his government was the passage of resolutions in the Legislative Assembly demanding the restoration of both statehood and special status. These resolutions, while symbolic in nature, carried immense political weight. They served as a powerful message to the central government, reiterating the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. The move was met with widespread approval within the region, signaling public support for Abdullah's stance. The demand for special status in particular was a contentious issue. While Article 370, which granted this special status, had been revoked, the demand for its reinstatement or a suitable alternative remained strong. Abdullah's government argued that the special status was crucial for safeguarding the region's unique cultural identity and protecting the rights of its people. They maintained that any dialogue on the future of Jammu and Kashmir had to acknowledge and address this fundamental aspiration. These resolutions, however, were met with a muted response from the central government. While acknowledging the sentiments expressed by the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, the central government maintained its stance on the abrogation of Article 370. This divergence in views highlighted the challenges Abdullah would face in his efforts to negotiate with the center on these sensitive issues. The resolutions marked the beginning of a long and arduous journey towards achieving a political solution that addressed the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir while ensuring the region's integration with the rest of the country.